Hey guys, it's Tom in from Tabletop Republic here, and welcome to day one of the Core Set 2021 cards. This is one of the bigger days they've got for card releases. There were loads of cards announced via Magic themselves, via community members, by different companies, and I'm just going to quickly go through them all. I've got the little fact sheet on the right that explains whether they're new or reprints and like a fun fact about them. Pretty much not going to read that much because one, I suck at talking, as you can tell, and two, my voice will be dead from all the talking about the cards because there are coming up to 100. I want to say possibly that were announced on the first day. Probably a lot less, like just a bit more than 50 or 60. Being still, it's loads of cards. Right, let's get cracking. So on June 4th, this was the original day that Wizards were meant to announce do their stream and announce some of these cards, but it got pushed back out of respect due to the National Day of Mourning in America. But two cards still were announced on the day. First up, you got Double Vision. Your first instant or sorcery each turn is copied. It's really good enchantment. There's loads of similar cards, but I could see this having a couple of copies in some instant sorceries, in some instant sorcery based decks. And then there's Gaara the Diplomat. This is a really exciting card. People are really happy that White finally has a good card that could be good in pretty much any deck. It's going to be a mythic rarity, which is probably good, but it just basically involves loads of draw power. And yeah, as I said, people are super hype for this one. So that was from Grzegorz Kowalski and Manoa. There also was meant to be Alia Desham, Liga Magic, the WPN, and Magic's Twitch stream. They were all meant to announce on that day, but they all got postponed to what I'm calling day one. I'm calling those two cards day zero. So June 5th, yesterday, they had day one of releases. So first up, they did a Twitch stream involving Jimmy Wong, Mark Rosewater, and a bunch of Magic community members, where they just showed off a bunch of cards, a bunch of art styles, and yeah, I'll just jump straight into it basically. First card announced was Ugin the Spirit Dragon. He finally gets a reprint, last seen 2017. 8 mana colourless mythic, so I don't think you'll see too much play, but I'm glad that he's back. I hope colourless gets a good boost up this time, and from what I've seen, it has done, which was one of my predictions. This was also leaked on the Magic Reddit thread. If you haven't seen my Core 2021 predictions, go back and watch that, as I'll probably be making a few references, like the white card previously, Mangara, that was leaked on the Reddit thread. And then yeah, Ugin also was mentioned by name as a reprint, so those are coming true. So I'm guessing most of the other Reddit thread is pretty much true, if they haven't been all announced already. Grim Tutor's finally getting a reprint. It's first ever time in a normal set. It was in Starter 1999, Master Set 3 in 2009. It's annoying that it wasn't in 2019 core set, but at least we're getting a good tutor that won't be stupidly expensive. It is mythic rarity to try and keep up some of that cost. But great art style, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully packing this one. Azusa Lost but Seeking gets a reprint. I've seen Masters 25. It's going to be broken, I think. I reckon this card is going to be a staple of most decks, and there's going to be so many cards revolving around land plays and things like this, because playing 2 additional lands in each of your turn, 3 land drops a turn, not just like a one-off effect for as long as Azusa lives. Luckily, it's only got 2 toughness, so pretty easy to deal with. Just a simple shock to do that. But yeah, this is going to be highly played. Fierce Empath. When it enters, search creature card with CMC 6 or greater and put it in your hand. Good for mono green big stompy decks. It's a 1/1 for 3 mana. It was last seen in the Mystery Boosters. It's had a couple of releases, but it's just a normal reprint for the uncommons. Tormod's Crypt gets a reprint for the 10th time. I'm hyped for this one. I have a few Tormod's Crypts in some of my commander decks because it's really good removal, like graveyard hate removal. and having it in standard basically ruins most people's chances of playing with the Titans from Theros, like graveyard recovery decks, like green black recovery decks. So yeah, I'm going to probably play this in quite a few of my decks because for 0 mana, who could complain? Ruined Halo gets a reprint. It's possibly the unique protection that was teased by Marrow, as you have protection from a chosen card. So that could be quite useful. I could see that getting some play for 2 mana again. Quite good. Then Planeswalkers, Liliana, Waker of the Dead. New Liliana, the big effect. Every turn you get a creature card from the battlefield, from the graveyard onto your battlefield, any graveyard, and it gains haste. So pretty much you're dead once that happens, unless there's Tormod's Crypts on the field. If you're playing this and you get your -7, it's amazing. It also has different versions. I don't have photos of them, but there's so this is the normal version. They also have a special purple border version, and then they've got the borderless version as well. Speaking of versions, Island was announced. Shock horror. But this is the special Teferi frame version. So obviously Teferi is the main commander of this set, main Planeswalker, the face of the box, and so loads of the cards have Teferi frames, so it's all just a blue special style. There's no comic book styles, there's no like full arts. It's just these special Teferi style things, which is good if you like Teferi, but I'm going to miss the comic book style art from Ikoria. That was amazing. Spock Hunter Masticore is a new one. This is going to be ridiculous. It's an amazing colourless card, as I said. Colourless, I think, will get a really good boost this time. And it's an anti-Planeswalker. For 1 mana, it deals a damage to target Planeswalker. So it's meant to sort of counter Tef 3, the one from War of the Spark. But now he's leaving. For just 4 mana, you can get rid of the new Teferi that's coming up, Tef4y, people are calling it. Yeah, because it's colourless, it's going to basically appear in every deck as well. They also did a announcement on the stream, and they also tweeted about it, that all hounds are now errated to be dogs, which is going to be a lot better, I think. No longer do you have all 3, you have wolves, hounds, and dogs. Now, hounds and dogs combine. I think they had some dogs before, but it's no longer now. It's a bit easier to distinguish between them. Wolves are wolves, whereas hounds are, it's like hounds aren't wolves until they are, and then wolves can be werewolves. That was confusing, but now, yeah, all hounds are now dogs, which goes with their buy box promo that I will show you a bit later. Also announced on the stream, still on the stream here, some Teferi special cards. So just simple draw and discard, but it also has the dark blue Teferi border, as I showed previously. Teferi's tutelage, they have finally keyworded the term mill. It's no longer they put the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard. This one is mills 2. This is the thing I'm most excited for. I love mill. Like, I have a whole deck based around mill and Magic Arena, and being able to finally have the term mill appear is better than any card itself. Not really, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Teferi's Ageless Insight. So talk about to the I'm more excited for the turn than any card. Okay, I'm excited for this card because my blue mill/draw deck, every time you draw, except for the first one in your draw step, you draw 2 cards instead. I'm doubling my drawing, and it is gonna be ridiculously overpowered. And then this is the Teferi Planeswalker. They're putting in Tef4y because he costs 4 mana. You can cast his loyalty abilities at flash speed or instant speed. +1, draw a card and discard. -3. You pick something that you don't control and it phases out, so it just doesn't exist. That instant speed is going to be quite good. So your opponent plays something massive. It's about to swing at you. You just phase it out, so you've got another turn to protect yourself. And -10, if you can control yourself, not just -3. Its -10 will be very good of taking 2 extra turns, because that is just essentially an instant win in a good position. There are many, many different art styles of this. I believe sort of the rings around Teferi have different styles. So I think there's 4 different styles, and then there's the 4 different Teferi, the 4 different styles, but with the Teferi special border, and then there's a borderless version as well with the different Teferi art on it. And then there's all the foils, the stamps, and so I've put 9 basic versions, and then I think there's over 18 so far. So there's going to be that one person who's going to start trying to collect them all. Next up, we go to CBR's announcements. They weren't actually announced on the Magic site to be an announcer, but they're not technically announcing the M21 set. These are all the new Planeswalker cards. Each Planeswalker deck has 4 unique cards in them, like 4 brand new cards. And then, obviously, the standard reprints. But yeah, so all these cards will be new to M21. So in the white Planeswalker deck, they've got a new Planeswalker, and as I predicted, it's a human. White human Basri, well, a white card human. Basically, just gives your stuff +1/1 and vigilance, and 1/1 counters, and then gives your stuff flying for its main effect. White has got quite a lot of 1/1 counters, I've noticed, in the spoilers I've seen so far. And so I reckon that could be quite a good strategy, especially with drafting. Then Basri's Aegis, no idea how to pronounce the word. Just put a 1/1 counter on 2 target creatures and then search for the Planeswalker. The uncommon, if it has a 1/1 counter on it, it has lifelink. Not too bad, could be, again, quite good in draft. These kind of Planeswalker cards, annoyingly, aren't in the main deck, so you can't draft with them. But if you can get a cube up or something like that, they could be quite good. And in the Planeswalker deck itself, I think it could be quite useful. An Adherent of Hope, again, 1/1 counters relating to the Basri Planeswalker. Next up, Black. Liliana is back. -7 has some good destruction. +1 essentially lets you draw from your graveyard, pretty much. That could be quite good. Her search card is a destruction for 5 mana, so not that good, but essentially destroy and draw. Liliana's Scrounger. This one is actually going to be quite useful. Every end step, if a creature died this turn, put a loyalty counter on a Liliana Planeswalker you control. Oh, yeah, that's going to be useful. And then Spirit of Malevolence. Just a Seared Scorpion, essentially, but not as good. Next up, green. You've got Gaara, Savage Herald. +1, draw a creature. -7, none of your stuff can essentially be blocked. They can be blocked, but the damage, everything has trample. It's not trample, it's just all the damage goes through no matter if it's blocked or not. I like this Gaara. He's going to be very good. Might just nick him for a Planeswalker deck. His search card is just a 3/5 with vigilance. Then you've got Predatory Worm. Is a 6/6 if you have a Gaara for 4 mana, which is quite useful. And then Wildwood Patrol, just a 4/2 with trample. Not probably the most boring of non-Gaara cards, but the Gaara himself makes up for it. And he's mono green, not black and green like he is in Throne of Eldraine. That's the one. Blue, Teferi. Of course, Teferi's going to be the blue one. It has phasing in it as well. It's +1, just draw. He's -8. Every creature that a target opponent controls, phases out, and it's until the end of your next turn. So essentially, if you do this during your main phase, you have a turn and a half to do stuff without your opponent's creatures being there. His search card is a 3/3 with flash. I think this could be used in a couple of flash decks just because it has the ability and also is a tutor. Then you've got Mystic Skyfish, again with the when you draw your second card each turn, it's flying, not the best, but it's only a common. And then the uncommon is actually going to be, I think this one on Arena could be quite popular. If when this attacks, if you control a Teferi Planeswalker, draw a card. Just more card advantage, and with the amount of Teferi Planeswalker decks I'm going to be seeing, I think this will be highly used. And finally, in the red deck, Chandra gets another card. +1 deals 3 damage. -2, cast an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. And it's -8, discard your hand, draw 7, and you can play those 7 cards for free. That is going to be really good. The fact you can get that in 4 turns, I think, could be quite useful. Probably, again, because it's 6 mana to get out. Probably not in standard, but in some other formats could be good. The search card is just a 4/2 with haste. You've got Stormcaller. When it enters, deal 2 damage to each opponent. Not the worst, just shock attached to a creature. And then Keral Keep Disciples. I think this one again will get quite a lot of use. When you activate a loyalty ability of a Chandra Planeswalker, it deals a damage to each opponent. I've seen a slight increase in Chandra mono red decks now that Obosh is essentially useless now because it costs 3 more mana to get into your hand. And so I saw some Chandra decks recently, and they're not bad. I managed to beat it still, but it was surprisingly good. Right, now we get to who announced these ones. These were the WPN. No, Daily MTG, Magic's sort of article website. So Baneslayer Angel getting its reprint. This one was teased and leaked and all kinds of things. Most people were expecting this one to happen, but having this kind of vanilla card will be good. And then Containment Priest is getting a reprint, last seen 2 years ago. But again, just another anti everything, basically. No free cards, nothing. Then you've got the WPN announcements. So these were announced on the Wizards Play Network. So you've got Vito here, good black life gain, life loss. He's from Ixalan, what I've seen in the comments, just his robes and his style. So you get sort of the past few sets, you've got some different kind of characters and planeswalkers like either being seen or revisited. And here is the buy a box promo for the year. This is why hounds are now dogs, just because it's a dog and a cat rather than a hound and a cat, which I think is a lot better. But yeah, so I'm going to be making a planeswalker deck for this. My girlfriend will be too. When you cast a dog, create a cat. When you cast a cat, create a dog. And then it's life gain, like it deals damage and then gives you life, depending on how many cats and dogs you have. So this will be good. I'm looking forward to this one. Then we get to the individual announcements of like who's been showing off their cards that they've been asked by Wizards to show off. So White Derby, Indulging Patrician. If you gained 3 or more life at your end step, each opponent loses 3 life. Orzhov Life Gain Drain staple right there. Beautiful as well. Well done. I think that's Miranda Meeks. I can't really see it from the poor quality of some of these cards. Shipwreck Dowser was announced by the Magic Puzzle Quest app, but Prowess is returning. Last seen in Standard in 2017, and I think there's 2 announced so far, and 1 if it's like Monastery Monk or Monastery Mentor. I think I made that mistake in the last video. That's got Prowess as well, so people are rumouring that one could come true again. Primal Might, this one's going to be really good. Essentially, it's either just the green mana to make a creature fight, or you can add a X and it gets +X+X. And I'm looking forward to this card because my boy Gulta is back, one of my favourite cards, Gulta Primal Hunger. He's back in the image at least and in the flavour text. So if he gets a reprint, I will be a happy boy. Then you've got Reign of Revelation. I can't remember what language it is. I think it's Portuguese. I can never remember. Portuguese. Yeah, I think it's Portuguese. I think this guy's from Brazil announced it. But it's just Reign of Revelation, a reprint from Modern Horizons, which I think is the first ever card that was new to Modern Horizons that's been reprinted in Standard. Draw 3 and discard 1 for 4 mana. Going to be very useful. Then you've got Samir, which is Vanish. Can't remember. I think this one's possibly Portuguese as well. But this one is the rumoured destroy a creature or planeswalker with CMC 3 or less. So goodbye TEF 3. It can't destroy the new TEF 4 though, but it will still be highly used, especially with Nasir still. I mean, she's going out with when War of the Spock goes out, when Zendikar comes out, but you've got at least a gap between one set where no one's probably using those cards. And another non-English card, this one is Jester Agitator. Whenever you sacrifice something, this deals a damage to something of your choice. Not really that useful for 5 mana. It's a 5/5, which is odd. It's a 5/5, but you might see this in some decks, but I'm doubtful. Then Voxy on her Twitch showed off Jeskai Elder, getting a reprint from Cards. Again, Prowess will be good, and you've got the Ninja Granny there showing off. Llanowar Visionary revealed by Dana Fisher, the magic prodigy, where she's the young girl that first of all loves elves and second of all has beaten some proper players in Magic tournaments. So, have you ever wondered what Llanowar Elves and Elvish Visionary would look like if they had a baby? There it is. Same effects as both of them together. Same. It's their power and toughness added together, I believe. Then it's their mana cost added together and the name added together. And it's I like the idea of this card. Then Cataract, the Crown Scourge, new card revealed by John Rolfe. At your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. Oh boy, a treasure. This one's going to be used in a couple of different decks, and he's a dragon as well. Very useful. Then one of the last cards that were revealed, you got Commanderin, who announced Bad Deal. 6 mana, but you draw 2, each opponent discards 2, and each player loses 2 life. Really good in EDH and Commander. Not that good in Standard, especially not Draft. No one's going to draft a 6 mana card. But yeah, this one's definitely made for an EDH deck. Speaking of EDH, imagine this one on it. For 7 mana, you draw half your library and lose half your life. Oh boy, that is going to be fun. Thank you, Star City Games, for showing off that one. I'm looking forward to this card. Also, the artwork. Oh my god. You've got Quirion Dryad, last seen in 2012, which is quite good, and first printed years ago, like old art style. So it's been around. I think it's only had about 5 or 4 printings. But basically, it's good for a 5-color deck. So this could get some use. You've got Chromatic Orrery, revealed by Command Zone. They love their orreries, especially the Dalkin Orrery. And so this one will be good. Maybe not in Standard again. It's very much an EDH card for the EDH channel. 7 mana, but you tap to add 5 mana. And you can spend mana. All your mana is mana of any colour. And so yeah, this one's again another 5-color kind of thing. I reckon if none of these spoilers have proper 5-color creatures, I reckon Zendikar Rising will have some 5-color staples in there. Pack Leader, the Dog Lord that Maro teased. So this is, I forgot his name, but essentially his initials are DOG the 4th, which is stupidly superb. I love it. yeah, Dog Tribal Lord. Not a legendary, which is what surprises me. But 2 mana for 2/2. It's going to be used in dog decks, and I'm going to get it and treat him like a good boy. And finally, the last card that was showed off in day 1 technically came after some of the day 2 cards were announced, which is fun. You got Necromancer here. New card, essentially a mono black Unmoored Ego. So let's say you choose the new Teferi. You search your opponent's grave, hand, and library for any of those cards and exile them, and they get 2/2 zombies instead. I am going to be playing this quite a lot, I reckon. Sorcery speed, so it's not, could be a tiny bit better, but beautiful artwork. I think this will be a stupidly underrated card, and people will, put all their eggs in too many baskets. So for example, like the Temor Reclamation deck, the only creature is Uro, and possibly the Shark tokens if you get that. All you've got to do is have 2 of these in, exile every Uro and exile every Shark Typhoon, and they're screwed pretty much. Doesn't affect the battle of those, so they can have the one that's still there. So that's it for the cards. However, there's still some news that was announced as well. So here's the contents of the collect boosters in Core 2021. I'm not going to read it through because it's just a lot of text. Feel free to pause it if you want. But essentially, it's with the showcase is going to be the Teferi frames, I believe. And so yeah, up to you on what you think about that. Then other news, not so much related to Magic 2021, but just news from 2021. Well, this year, 2020, technically. Welcome decks discontinued those packs of 2 30-card decks that you used to get for free from Wizard stores. So we at Tabletop Republic won't be having any more. They've been discontinued. We've still got some loads in stock though. Instead, welcome boosters are being created. They are 10-card packs. You've got a guaranteed Planeswalker in them. You've got a guaranteed rare in them. Some cards like Niv Mizzet Parun appears, but isn't in M21. So these cards are not M21 legal by themselves. Like this doesn't count towards the M21 printing, but some cards might be from M21. Not sure of the contents apart from a guaranteed Planeswalker by the sounds of it in each one. They have also announced Arena starter kits for stores. Now these are going to be 2 60-card decks in paper, and you can redeem a code for them on Arena. This is essentially replacing these starter kits with the addition of being able to play them on Arena. Again, for the same price, I think they're going to be something really cheap, like 10 quid. And I'm excited to get these in. This is what they look like. So this is from the American Amazon site. So you get a Demon's Loathing mono black deck and I can't remember which one it is. I think it's not Turtle Hydra. Iron Scale Hydra, that's the one. Let's look in the text, which is I really like. I like this, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these go. I'm not sure if there's any more, but this is just the image they've got on the American Amazon page. And so basically, yeah, you get the free welcome boosters instead of the decks, or you got the paid decks now, but you can play them on Arena and in paper, which I think is a really good idea. Those welcome decks apparently only had about a 5% increase in play. Like anyone who was introduced via deck, only about 5% of people were introduced via those welcome decks. Whereas having boosters that people can open as a welcome, sort of is the point of Magic, really. It's not just being given a pre-made deck. If they want that, they could get a Planeswalker deck. Opening boosters will be really good, I think. And yeah, so that's it for all the cards from day 1 and day 0. For day 2 and 3, I'll be doing them together on day 3, just because there's not that many cards. But from then on, it's getting ridiculous. 10, 15 cards a day, and then when Core Set 2021's over, Jumpstart is happening. We'll see if I'll be able to do some of those as well. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed these previews, and I will see you guys later.